Hello, and I apologize for the late start today. Today we are in Mosport, and we're back in the news van. Gonna have hopefully a good race. I've heard some interesting things about just lap, being able to be constant with your lap times, and not having too much wigglage in between. Looks like we're gonna have to just hop out and hop back in quickly to get the controller up and going so that we can have drum cams. Yes, the word I was looking for was consistency. Consistency amongst the lap times is something that these drivers seem to not have on this track. Looks like they're going to have some varied laps, which could be very interesting to watch. Can sit right atop our news van. So yes, today we are in Mosport. As you can see, some have not practiced as much as they should have, but it's going to be an entertaining race. We hope to have a pretty full pack today, roughly around 12 people. And as seen through the past, we've seen obviously Sauce and Rodian and Drillin up there in the times for practice at least, and I do not doubt that the same three, including Game Boy, will be up there pretty high. I'm sure they are going to be leading in this race unless there is some sort of crash, which could very well happen. It's a news van. Dean taking a lap in the news van. I might have to join him on that, actually. I had to drive on my keyboard. His controller is mapped to drone cam. Taken a lap here before qualifying, then I'll hop off track to let them really get their consistent lap times in. They can do the best they can. There's Sauce. Me looking at the leaderboard and not looking at the track, going straight off. Definitely one of the fastest cars on track. Not every day that we drive the news van along the track. day. We got a suggestion from one of the guys here. Move stream quality down to 30 FPS just to have a overall better quality, less lag, and just overall better quality. That way it's not having to do so much. Driving with keyboard is pretty difficult. Especially in a Assetto Corsa. This is pretty funny. I'm definitely enjoying my time right now. This might be more entertaining than just the general stream. Alright, going back to pits, getting ready for quali. Alright, looks like he's switching back to his car so they can get ready and he can finish his practice. He can get right into qualifying. A very entertaining 2 laps there. I'm thinking about maybe backing up the news van to right over here, or in the grass there next to the ambulance, or in front of the ambulance, or let's see what else we got here. Could go at the end of the straight and this little pull off there, or at the very end. I would like to have it viewing the end, so probably in that pull off there is a good plan. But then again, I will have to get it off map pretty quickly, so I might have to leave it in pits. Let's see what other guys we have. We have Drillin in the number 171. You have Air Cooled in his number 7. Hasn't switched from that. That's the Bizzarini, I think. Though I don't know off the top of my head, sadly. And it looks like we are moving into qualifying. We have the 178 there. Game Boy, of course, in his Shelby 94. 68 Ferrari GTO. It looks like Penguin's got that. Hopefully he does well. And Mike Kirby. If you guys didn't know, and I'm saying this to probably an audience of roughly 1 to 3 people, so I'll keep it brief. I do have an Instagram for this. It's like, actually, I probably should look exactly what it is before I tell you. It is GP_Simsports, if you'd like to go give that a follow. I try to regularly post race results, and if I make a promo video, I'll post that on there as well. Alright, let's try to capture some of this qualifying. We have our number 62, Mike Kirby, on his out lap from the pits, so this is going to be a longer time as he was starting from a stop position, whereas when he crosses the start-finish line here in just a moment, he will have his first real lap and his first real lap time. That really shows how quickly he can go in a consistent lap. Right now, Mike Kirby's doing pretty good in 4th place. We'll see if he's going to be faster in his real lap. Lots of sliding there as he really throws into these corners. You can see the tire marks almost identical, except he pulled out of that skid, probably fearing a slide or a spin out earlier than some others have. It is difficult when you have same class cars but different cars, because it's hard to tell how they will actually perform compared to one another if you haven't been driving them for a while. So Mike Kirby got off track there, spun out a little bit, back on track. This won't be his fastest lap of quality, hopefully. Rodan passing and having some issues there. Probably still has some stuff on his tires and not enough grip. Looks like Sauce and Racebrick have both finished their laps with close to 132. Sauce at 132.3. Game Boy at a 133.1 and Racebrick at a 134. Let's see if we can get actual lap times up here. No, it's going to be more than that. So we're just going to have separation. I'm going to have to calculate that in my head. So Mike Kirby now on 9th place due to those spin outs. Hopefully he makes a comeback here and is able to keep his momentum through the turns, not skid out, and get the fastest lap time he can. Mike Kirby definitely a favorite here, despite his usual lower positions. This is already doing better than once before. He hasn't spun out yet, and he didn't go into the grass on this turn. Very impressive so far. Now I will remind you, these drivers will most likely be in different cars each race, with the occasional exception like air-cooled in this visiting. Some of the better drivers or someone who would need a change, there is a new car drawing every week, and some people switch cars. I'm not fully aware of how that works, but just keep in mind that is happening throughout season 18. And I'm unsure if we're going to keep doing that through further seasons. Alright, this has put Mike Kirby in 7th place with 1:35.6. A much faster lap, with only roughly 3.2 seconds behind Sauce. But everything can change when you are constantly surrounded by cars who may or may not be trying to kill you. Your lap times will change, could be better, could be worse. The realization and motivation can change. Penguin up there, 9th place in the Ferrari GTO. Expect him to be doing better in that car. I can tell Kirby's times are getting faster and faster as we watch. Sometimes I enjoy a consistent lap by lap watch of a single driver, getting to know his driving style and what he struggles with and what he can do better, and also what kind of cars he likes, because some people enjoy struggling with these cars, some people don't like them because they're not easy. You saw him go in the grass a little bit there. Looks like he has gone 0 places and has the exact same lap time as before, which is quite incredible. Really setting in these corners, going way into the grass there, letting that suspension, or non-existent suspension, kind of do the best it can. Lots of sliding, lots of tire stroke. I will keep the camera on, but your commentator will be gone for just a few moments here. And we're back. Looks like Kirby stopped during overtime. Didn't think it necessary to continue that lap as the race is just about to start in Mo4. Whoa. Sauce really putting in the extra mile there. Game Boy. There we go. Alright, we have our standings for race 1. Sauce, of course, starting first. Rodan doing better this time. Last week I saw him struggling a little bit in second place. Game Boy claiming third place as usual. Looks like we don't have any Pro today, which is going to switch up our field a bit, because usually Pro is in first, second, or causing some sort of switch up down in third, fourth, fifth. Speaking of fourth and fifth, we have Drillin McMillan in fourth, Dean in fifth, Air Cooled in sixth, Race Brick in seventh, Penguin in eighth, Mike Kirby looks like he had some issues in ninth, and Egbert Waxman in 10th, or Colin. We also have Gunner in 11th with the TVR Griffith, and me in the Transit, not racing but streaming. Looks like we are going to be gridded here right in a few moments. There we go. We are all gridded now. I'm going to go ahead, get a good angle here, and make sure that I can get off the track in time. I will probably find out a way to get this guy to not move around when it is auto-gridded, and have him sit down in a spot where I can just keep him as a steady camera. We are going to lock onto one of these guys further in the back to try to catch the beginning of the race action. Yes, that's a good idea. We will be locked on to Colin here in 10th place. Alright, great. We are now off the track and ready for the beginning of this race. And we are off. Some initial passing going on. All going to turn 1, some 2, some 3 wide, even 3 wide at a time. Sliding off the track, going way over the apex there. Colin doing well, going on the inside of Penguin. Mike Kirby having that classic failure there, going off over the green into turn 2. So I'm bumping up there between Dean and Air Cooled. Mike Kirby really throwing into that corner. Seemed to have a very corner heavy line where he just throws it in and brakes late, almost using other cars as brake points. Going over a bridge here, we see Dean going into the grass heavy, which I guess is a common theme amongst these drivers. Mike Kirby, of course, throwing it into this turn, air-cooled off the track. Mike getting really close to passing Colin, but not quite getting there. Looks like Dean had an issue and went back to pit. least that's what the thing says. Maybe it's incorrect and there's a duplicate, because I still see him up there. A little spin out on Colin's part, leaving Mike to pass him. Penguin still having more momentum than Colin, but it looks like Colin was able to pull up a little bit there, having a drastically different line. Starting to catch back out to Mike. At the end of lap 1, leaving our standings at Sauce at first, Game Boy in third, Rodin in Game Boy in second, Rodin in third, Dylan in fourth, Dean in fifth, Air in sixth, Kirby in seventh, and Colin in eighth, Penguin in ninth, Gunner in 10th, and Racebrick in 12th. Wonder what happened to Racebrick, because he was doing much better. It was like Game Boy got off track, sending him way back to 10th place. Same thing with Game Boy there, which is very surprising. Whoa! Colin throwing into that corner, following Mike's very bold line, not braking in times, getting out of the way of hitting Kirby very gladly, but still wasn't able to save it for himself, throwing him back into 7th place behind Penguin. Lots of sliding going on in this Alfa Romeo. Penguin in the GTO doing better than his qualification laps in 6th place. Not sure why it says Dean is in pits, as he is obviously not. Something is slightly messed up with the F1 leaderboard here. Whoa, a little bit of sliding going on. He saved it, but didn't have a very good line there. Not sure what's going on here. Looks like we're just going to have Dean at the top, and it's going to be one off as far as that leaderboard goes. Both Penguin and Colin sending into that quarter. Lots of tire smoke there. Penguin hopping the apex. Definitely not what that's meant for. Sauce having the current fastest lap. Not sure why it's not giving us any times. Having an issue there. We're going to try and turn it off and turn it back on again. Not having much luck here, which is sad. But we will prevail. Let's see what else is going on this track. Race brake back here in Kirby's old car. Alright, Sauce up here in first place despite the incorrect leaderboard on your left. That is one off. Sauce is indeed in first place. The Dean driver of the van is not here. He had already left. So, Sauce in first, Dylan in second. Very good. Looks like finally moving on past Dean. this might be the lap where leaderboard goes back to normal. Dean moving up 3rd place, passing his ghost, I guess. Good for Dean. I know that Dean has his potential to get 3rd, 2nd, or even 1st. Good to see him passing, getting out of that area of 8th, 7th, 6th, where he so often gets stuck. Also in one of my favorite cars, the number 4 Ferrari GTO. Yes. No, I was incorrect. That's the Bizzarini. Looks like he has moved on with a similar paint scheme. At one point, he had a very similar paint scheme, maybe number 9 Ferrari GTO. Say he's in the Bizzarini. Must have gotten redrawn there. Going around this hairpin type turn. Not too much action as of now. Looks like Racebrick just passed Kirby. Maybe Kirby had some issues. Egg up here. Right on time getting passed by Game Boy. Moving Game Boy into 6th and Colin back to 7th. By the way, Egg is Colin. I'm pretty close racing back here in 7th, 6th, and 5th. Game Boy moving up the ranks, catching up, as must have gotten some sort of realization of errors in his line or something, but he is getting so close to these other drivers and just to blow right past them. Not sure where this sudden burst of skill came from, but there is no doubt that he's definitely got it. Both of them, Game Boy and Penguin, going over the green line there, but Game Boy not quite as much, leaving him the inside into the next corner, getting ahead of both Penguin and Colin. Now we have Colin and Penguin fighting back and forth, going back and forth for 6th place. It looks like, as of right now, Collins was pulling out of it, but Penguin was really sending it into those turns. And I am certain will continue to send it in these turns. Not necessarily meaning his car will be able to turn under those conditions, or really be able to power out. As seen here, he was not. He is now losing time away from Colin because of his more radical entry. Almost a full second behind, actually. Soft setting another fastest lap. Yellow flag somewhere. Somebody must have crashed. Not too much action as of right now, but I am certain that can change at any moment. We have 4 minutes left of this race. Coming out of Sector 3, going into probably one of the final laps. We probably have 2 to 3 laps left. My guess is 2. Rodan passing Penguin behind. Still no threat to Colin as of right now. But Colin was really able to pull away from both Rodan and Penguin, getting those seconds on them. Right? Getting really close to Game Boy in that pack of 3rd, 4th, and 5th, or really just 4th and 5th right now. Less of a pack, more of a line. Focusing a little bit more here on camera work than I am commentating. There's not much to commentate on as of right now. Tire smoke up ahead from both Air and Game Boy. Let's get our in-car camera, maybe our helmet cam. Right now in our helmet cam, Colin, who's in 6th place, 30 seconds behind the leader. Not too bad. Most of these guys are fairly close. No one's been lapped yet. That can change, but it looks promising as we have a fairly close race here looking at the map. Except for the 1 and 2 who are very far behind. Whoa, Colin spinning out. Looks like he touched grass, which was the death of his position in 6th. Losing those seconds he had on Rodan and Penguin and Racebrick. Leaving him in 7th place, right ahead of Penguin, who is getting on his tail. He might be able to catch up, but might not. His task now, catch up to Rodan, which will take 6 seconds in just this last lap. Will he be able to make it? I don't think so, especially considering that gigantic slide from his dirty tires and all the stress he's put on them. Very sad to see all that work he's put in going to waste, as he was up in 6th place, mid-pack, doing very well for himself, moving way back into 9th, where it is impossible to get past. The good news is, he is a full 34 seconds ahead of those behind him. The bad news is, he is 34 seconds ahead of those behind him, meaning he's most likely at the end of the fun part of this race, and wow, ping. That's why it's called GP Simsports. He is now completely invisible. Nope, there he is. He's back. That's why we call it GP Simsports. Ginormous Ping Simsports. He went straight through the ground, only to return seconds later. Looks like he's in the same boat he was before. We're going to move over to Sauce and get these final lap. Sauce, 1st place. Gunner, or Drillin, 2nd place. Lots of brown cars here. Dean, 3rd place. Error, 4th place. Game Boy, 5th place. Looks like a little bit of passage there, Rodan moving up to 6th. Rodan in 6th place in his Alfa Romeo. Penguin here in 7th position, no, 6th position. Race Break in 8th, Cullen in 9th, Gunner and Kirby an entire lap behind everybody else, most likely going to get a DNF. That was a good first race, and you can see the driver celebrating here, doing plenty of donuts, producing plenty of smoke. Although if you live anywhere near me, or anywhere where it's not so cold, you will understand the pollen. And I'm certain this smoke is going to give spectators just as much allergies as that pollen will. Alright. Moving on to race number 2 with just a few seconds to prepare. And the drivers get into their mindsets, think about where they're going to be placed on the grid. We're going to have a inverted grid as usual. So those who finish last will be first. Those who finish first will be last, just like the Bible. But most importantly, those who got a DNF are going to be all the way in the back, unlike the Bible. Alright, we are all loaded up onto the grid. Let's take a look at what we've got. Looks like we still have the error of Dean being in pits in the news van. We have Gunner, first place. Colin, second place. Racebrick in third place. Penguin in fourth place. Rodan in fifth place. Game Boy in 6th, Air Cooled in 7th, Dean in 8th place, Drillin in 9th place, Sauce in 10th place because he did so well, Mike Kirby in 11th place because he got a DNF, which makes me wonder, where's the other guy that got a DNF? It is possible that he left for the night for other reasons, but this lineup looks promising for a very interesting race happening here in just 53, 52, 51, 50 seconds. Alright, we are off track. We are ready to race. Mike Kirby here in last place. Follow him for a little bit. Sauce getting into the middle, trying to grasp onto his line right off the bat, moving into the inside just as he plans. Dean up there going off into the outside the track. Hopefully he meant to do that. Plenty of cars going way over the green line, just trying to get as much speed up as they can to pass. Right now it looks like we are getting 2 main packs. One up front with now 3 people, as, oh, that is sad. Every once in a while I agree with this. Very relatable. You get up high in the positions, you're doing well, you're blocking, you're racing, you're in like 4th place, and someone taps you or you hit grass and you just spin out and you lose it, and the rest of the race you're kind of out of it. You lost it and you're not going to get back up there. So I really hope that Penguin, that's not happening to Penguin. We can see him have plenty of major and good battles throughout this race. See Kirby doing well, passing Gunner in 9th place now. A battle up there with Air and Dylan taking place. Gunner, ooh. Gunner not hitting the brakes in time, but hitting the back of Kirby just in time to make him spin out. Push to last place. Very sad. Good for Penguin. I know that feeling when your person in front of you just happens to spin out. Kirby looks like he has just lost it entirely. Spinning his tires, desperately trying to really get back up with the rest of the pack after that horrible spin out. I hope to see him make a comeback, but it is not given. He will come back to Kirby, hopefully. I hope to see him passing plenty of cars in the following minutes. We'll go back up here in more exciting pack with 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Obviously. Oh, wow. Impressive. Very impressive. And I did not see this coming at all. We have Rodan in 1st, Racebrick in 2nd, Colin in 3rd, Dean in 4th, Game Boy in 6th, and Sauce Game Boy in 5th, and somehow Sauce in 6th. It doesn't make much sense, but Sauce is right on the tail of Game Boy. You see down on the leaderboard, you saw Kirby just past Gunner in 11th, which means Gunner probably spun himself out. So justice served. Dean really throwing into that corner, resulting in him having a little bit of a spin out issue there. Passing Colin for just a moment, getting right back on, tapping Colin, or having Colin tap him somehow, meaning Dean was in the grass there for a while. He was able to pull it off, keeping him in 5th, but with plenty of adversaries right behind him. Saw somehow avoiding that entire mess, leaving him in 4th. Very good. Like we have Game Boy in 3rd, Racebrick in 2nd, Rodan in 1st. Sauce, though, just zooming past Game Boy. I do not know what Sauce's secret is, but he is a very quick driver, especially with cars like these. Sauce moving up to 3rd place. I have no doubt that he is capable of going up to 1st place. The question is, will he? Dean sending in the corner very far. He tends to do that a lot, moving himself back to at least 6th there. Not a good position. Dean should probably start braking a little bit earlier there, but I completely understand the rush of adrenaline getting to him, just trying to make it past the next car, not paying attention to the braking zones. Let's move back. Kirby here. No one ahead of him in sight. He has some work to do still. Let's take a look at Dean, because what has going on is very interesting. Because he's quick, but if he can't stop in time, he's gonna get passed, because he is, 1, leaving the entire track all open for anybody just to pass him, and 2, slowing himself down like immensely more than he should be, making it more difficult for him to speed up, unevenly heating his tires, and just overall getting completely out of the way. All those things added together, if someone was able to take that corner correctly, they have the right temperature tires, they plan on it, they use the right amount of fuel that they planned on, they have a wide open shot to pass him, and they conserve their momentum insanely better. If you skid to a near stop, you have almost no speed left. But if you stop, slow down, take that turn properly, as we see here, I drill in, add a little bit of smoke, but that's okay. It looks like Dean has copied properly, much quicker, probably 2nd to even 2 seconds quicker than if you were to really just send it in the corner and show off that tire swing. Some interesting things going on in the back of the pack here. Penguin in 8th, Kirby up there in 9th, Gunner in 10th, Colin in 11th, or 10th surprisingly, and Racebrick in 11th. And we will see if Colin is able to pass Gunner here. It looks like it is likely. Sauce passing. Actually, that is just the placeholder. I don't know why that's still there. But everyone's passing there. And we can finally get an accurate representation on leaderboard. Colin getting up right close, showing his superior braking zones, and maybe his car is just able to pass better, or brake better. Although going on the outside, trying to pass on the outside is very bold, especially as we saw those skids going on there. The smart move now, I think, would be to start taking inside just like that, getting behind, trying to draft a little bit, although it looks like Gunnar did not have the steer line there, going out to the outside when he should still be on the inside. Gunnar caught on the trap of being not sure where he's supposed to be. Looks like he has fixed that now, but not in time. Colin in 9th, Kirby in 8th, Penguin in 7th. Let's move back. Oh, race brake in hit. Looks like something's wrong there. Hopefully he gets back out. He will definitely be finishing last though. Alright, Sauce up here in 2nd place. Surprisingly enough, he has not passed Rodan yet. I'm certain he's capable of doing that with only a 3-second difference and 7 whole minutes to do it. Rodan getting the fastest lap, and right after Sauce getting the new fastest lap, Sauce is definitely going to be able to pass. Alright, we have Dean here in 5th. Very exciting driver to watch. Just barely touching grass there, not enough to do anything poorly. Sending it into that corner, sliding, able to keep control of it, but probably a little bit slower than if he slowed down a tiny bit more into that corner. Getting up close to Drillin. He's probably going to be able to pass Drillin here, especially given he has 6.5 minutes left. Going into this hairpin type turn, lots of smoke, but looks like he's able to pull it off nicely, keeping his momentum, and yet the still steady slowing as he goes into the more tight second part of that turn. Five minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. We are in sector 3 as of now, watching Dean in 5th position, 10.5 seconds behind the leader Rodan, who has still been able to hold off Sauce for now. Surprising we're still under yellow flag. Unsure of why we're still there. Probably another glitch at the leaderboard or of the set of Corsa. Going right onto the apex there. Pulling up a very nice line, getting right where it needs to be. A little bit heavy on the throttle. I would have slowed down a little bit earlier there, but it seems to be that he's okay with that tire warming and touch grass there. Didn't spin out, so doing pretty well. Yeah, right now, sector 1, 5 minutes to go. Dean 11.6 seconds behind leader. Sauce looks like he's edging close to the Rodan, but not making any substantial moves, just based on the leaderboard. Touching grass a little bit there, but nothing too crazy. Drillin's heading in that corner a little bit more than he would have expected, shaving off, actually doing the opposite, adding on a few probably 0.0 seconds, 0.01 to 0.05 seconds, so nothing incredible, just enough where if Dean is to do it properly, he will be able to draft off Drillin, make smarter decisions in the corners, and ultimately pass Drillin, getting into at least 4th position, if not 3rd. It's very slidey into one of these final turns, or second and final turn. Definitely slowed him down more, letting Drillin right away from him. Sauce, just based on leaderboard, getting close to Rodan. Getting much closer to Rodan. Sauce has 3.5 minutes left. Will he be able to get first place? I don't know. We are about to find out though. Back to fifth place 15. 1.3 seconds behind. Dylan not looking too hot. Dean's definitely feeling the pressure of the clock. And the want for fourth position is having him go tighter and tighter into the corners, and as you can see him really hop over the apex there and break later and later, which is not necessarily a good thing. It's like Penguin passing air right behind Dean is still an impressive roughly 20 seconds behind Dean. Sauce is getting much closer, really putting the pressure on Rodan. If I were Rodan right now, I would be sweating. I would be sweating, and I would probably lose grip of my wheel, or do something stupid, sending me off the course, getting me probably roughly into 7th, 8th position, ruining that streak. But I have yet to really be in first position for this one, so I don't know. Maybe Rodan knows his skill, knows that he's going to be able to hold off Sauce. And he's going to be able to finish it first. Or it could be the opposite. Hard to tell. But as Sauce gets closer and closer, and 2 minutes to go, time gets lesser and lesser, it's putting the pressure on both of them. Sauce wants first, Rodan wants first, Rodan doesn't want to lose it. Who wants it more, and who is more skilled? Sauce getting much closer, 1.1 seconds away from Rodan. 0.9 seconds away from Rodan. Mid 0.8 away from Rodan. Mid 0.7 away from Rodan. 0.6 away from Rodan. Braking a little bit later than he usually does. 0.5 away from Rodan. Looks like Gunner has some issues there, getting lapped. DNF is a sad thing to see. Looks like that little mix-up though, as Sauce had Sauce at 0.7 seconds behind Rodan, but he had a slightly different line, leaving him at the end of that. Same thing, 0.5, now 0.6, now back to 0.5. Hard to tell, hard to update, such minuscule amounts of time difference. Oh, Sauce braking late there, slowing himself down overall, allowing Rodan to pull away a little bit more than he wants. Because Rodan broke on time, less skidding, and kept his momentum going. This corner here is really going to decide who's getting first, who's getting second. Will I be able to interpret it properly? Probably not. Very different lines there. Sauce pulling out onto the apex a little bit later, and going into the corner a little bit sooner. This is the final lap, and Sauce is edging his way closer to Rodan. 0.25 seconds, 0.23 seconds away, 0.18 seconds away, 0.15 seconds away, 0.1 seconds away, 0.02 seconds away. Ahead, he's ahead, but he's on the outside. He's braking late. He's skidding into the grass. He's ahead of Rodan, putting the pressure on Rodan. Oh my gosh. Going into such a tight turn with a double on two, I am speechless. That was such a bold move. 2 cars side by side going in that tight of a turn. Sauce was getting all his marbles. At that point, he was either finishing mid to late pack or he was finishing first. There was no in between. He was not going to finish second place. He was willing to risk all of this season, or all of this race's points, which actually count towards winner of the season, to see if he's going to get first or if he's going to get close to last. Very impressive play by Sauce. Really throwing himself out there. He went to the outside. He knew he had room into the grass. Rodan, most likely, saw Sauce there. Probably jolted a little bit, sending himself off track. Probably hitting grass. Ultimately slamming into the wall, leaving Sauce in first place. I'm going to say this again, a very, very bold move. Very, very stupid move, but very, very, I would almost say, educated through skill and well executed. Very good play from Sauce here, getting first place in the Bizzarrini. Is there any car that he cannot get first place in? So far, we've had roughly 3 to 4 cars that he has gotten first place in, no problem. This is the only one that he seemed to struggle getting in this first place with. But they did an insane job. Great job to Sauce. Great job to the rest of the drivers. Very excited for next week. Very excited to see what you guys have to say about it. And we will see you next week for race